Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts Taskmaster. On Taskmaster Tuesdays we play a couple of challenges, and by we I mean myself of course and the guys listed down below in the description. We see who can get the most points while trying to limit the amount of RNG that we face. Today it's a scenario that is similar to one that I did a while ago. It was about privateers and we built a couple of ships then, trying to see who could take down the most valuable prize. I went with torpedo boats, which turned out to be not particularly safe. Today it is a continuation / alternative version of that. My fleet can consist of up to 6 ships of any type. The ships must however be of the same type, so I can either have several battleships or one destroyer, but not various different ship classes blended together. Minimum range, 10 kilometers, and otherwise the Admiral's choice. So if I can... I need to be at least 10, but greater is fine. I can have 1927, and I can have unlock all on. This is going to give me a lot of flexibility for picking turrets, towers, and of course hulls from all different nations. The scoring system and the twist are the same, the Quartermasters Factor. Now this is a small formula. The Quartermasters Factor, or your Q score if you will, is the amount of the total cost of the enemy ships sunk minus the total cost of your own ships sunk divided by the amount of cost or the total cost of your own ships to build. So you can go for a really expensive battleship, and if it survives, perfect. But if that turns out to be a pretty expensive battleship and the enemy turns out to be not that expensive, well, then you're not going to get a lot of points. So there is a lot to be said for going with smaller ships, but if you don't sink anything, then you're not going to have any points whatsoever. So we have all sorts of interesting design considerations for this one. I'm going to go with a couple of battleships here. They will get expensive, but the last couple of weeks during Taskmaster I have taken too many risks, and I have gotten my ass handed to me because of that. So we're going to go with 5 battleships. This means that whatever the price of my battleship is, I can immediately 5x that. That's going to be the total cost of my own ships to build. Range? Let's say 20,000 meters. If I can bring some really big guns, I should have a tech advantage. Or rather, range advantage. Hoping, of course, the battle cruisers won't be able to inflict damage from great range. So, we get the modern battleship up to 96,000 tons. That is lovely. The downside, these things cost 66 million, and that's when they're empty. So, if I'm going to go with something that's expensive, or rather, that's... Oh, this is tricky. I don't want to make it too expensive, but I do want to make sure that it has the amount of firepower that it will need to take down the enemy. And... well, you can go all sorts of way with that. See, for example, this, normally, double-geared steam turbines is my go-to, but it makes your engines 670% more expensive. So I'm now looking at 32.6 million, and now I'm looking at 35.9. That means that geared turbines 2, suddenly not so interesting. I'm going to have to kind of save on categories that I would normally not save on. Here. Fuel, semi-oil, or oil. Oh, sorry, this is the burners. Normally I go for these right away, but then your fuel cost goes up by 200%. And so does your engine cost. So I guess we're firing semi-oil today. Boilers. Well, everything is going to get expensive. Natural boilers, I think, is the cheapest price you can get. But also you have a pretty terrible funnel capacity. Krupp armor, well this is not something I'm going to save on. This is something I want to have actually work. Lots of bulkheads. We're in 1927, that means that we're pretty quick. But the enemy can be pretty fast as well. And that's kind of a risk. Because the enemy is a battle cruiser, which generally has a better form factor. That means they glide through the water easier. And that means they have the potential to be fast. Now let's go with an all or nothing armor. Holy shit, that added 11 million. Let's go with a turtleback armor scheme. And then I want a funnel. 1.3 million for a funnel. Sure, we can do that. Giving us an engine efficiency of 36%. 42%. Jesus, you want me to take 2 of those? That doesn't even make sense, because this one empties it directly into the other funnel. Oh, you used to be able to rotate these things, but unfortunately that's no more. Okay, so I can take 2 of these for 1.6 million. Oh, sorry, 2.6 million at that point. Or I can have 1 for 2 million. Now I'm looking at 68.2 million. If I go for the natural variant and I have 2 of them, 68 million as well. So I think going with 1 and then going with forced boilers. There we go. Engine efficiency 188. I'll take it. 67.8 million. Now, I want a radar. I want stereoscopic rangefinders. 80 million. This is going to be an expensive privateer fleet. Guns. I'm inclined to go with the biggest guns, but they're Mark 1s, which I do not like. So we're going to go with 14-inch guns. Going with quads. It can work. But... well, especially with Lyddite, it can work rather well. Super heavy shells fired from a 14-inch gun do 458 damage. I'll take it. Let's go with a Nelson-esque design. Aft weight offset is a bit of a concern, but I don't really know how to fix that issue. Can I put a 13 there? I can. Oh, then we're at 2.6. There we go. That's better. Acoustics? No. Better loaders? Sure, if you pay me 7 million, I'll put that on your ship. Hydraulics? No, it's fine. Actually, if I go bow in with this ship, then this turret won't be able to fire. If I do it a bit different, I will have more firepower facing forward. 2 side-mounted 14-inchers. And I could maybe... would that fit? No, not a 15. Oh, hold on. I need to go back to the center line. Ooh. I like. It's a lot of firepower. Ideally, though, I would put these then as a side-mounted gun. 14 triples. Like, right on the edge of the ship. I don't care if they're sticking out like that. If it's sitting on the ship, according to the game, I'll take it. What? Oh, here we go. So that's 12 forward-firing guns. The thing is, with this setup, I can actually fire all 12. With the previous setup, I probably couldn't, because the side mounts were not capable of firing directly forward. And by doing it this way, I can. I can even shift this thing farther forward to make sure that I don't have a weight offset, which is going to help me with accuracy. And then these things are, well, potentially capable of being a bit more inwards. Side mount, no, 14 triples. Something like that. Well, like that, but not actually that, because they're... what if I do it in reverse? That's better. It looks terrible, but it works. Is there any way I could put a barbette under that? Like a standard barbette? No. Then this one gets into trouble. And I do want to focus bow in, because that way I don't have to worry too much about Firepower. Oh. Because why not? I'll take it. It's going to be a really expensive pirate ship, but whatever. I have to wait offset 0.8. Work with me here, people. Move forward. 5%. For 1%. 0.7. 0.3. I'll take it. Right. Why not? What do you mean this barpet's sticking out? I don't see anything. There is not something that needs to be addressed here. Auxiliary engine. Great, but it adds to my engine cost. My ship's already 104 million. That adds 6 million. Holy shit. Okay. I'll go without an auxiliary engine. That's expensive. Okay. Belt extended. Contrary to popular belief, is going to be important. My belt is not. And this is pretty unusual for a design like this. But I'm going to be facing forward as much as I can. And that way, making sure that the bow and the turrets are up to snuff would probably do more for me to protect the ship. Good lord, these things are expensive. This is not a privateer, this is a private yacht. This thing is going to cost me 103,965,000. Oops. And BrotherMunro, who came up with the scenario, said you can round it up or down. What was it? To the closest, I think. To the closest full point. So let's say the ship is going to be 104 million, just for ease of use. 104 million per ship times 5 is already spent 520 million. I think it's not going to do many favors for my score, but I want to take down some ships. Let's go. 5 versus 6. However, my 5 probably have more firepower than their 6. Alright, Spanish. ¿Cómo está? What you got there? 16-inch guns. Well, okay. Maybe their firepower is better than mine. They're also heading away from me. Ugh, you had to, didn't you? Now, I cannot see how expensive they are yet. In order to do that, I need to identify them first. Oh, there's the rest of the fleet. Alright, you, join, formation, normal, line, abreast. Turn that way. Off you go. So I need to ID them first. Once that's done, I can tell you what these things are capable of. And more importantly, how expensive, or rather how much they're going to give me for points. Because again, the formula, the Quartermaster Factor, the Q factor, ships sunk minus ships lost, so cost that is, divided by the total cost of your own ships to build. So ideally, I would not take any kind of losses. If one of my ships is too heavily damaged, I will pull it out of the fight. Because the alternative is losing it, and that's going to very much ruin my score. These guys are really happy to fire fast. Friedrich, I need you to slow down a little. It's nice that you're so fast, but the rest of the group still jockeying for position. Now we did a little bit of damage to one of the guys here. This one. Seems mostly intact, mostly fine. Ooh. Oh no, never mind. I thought I hit him on the turret, but they actually have, I think it's a visual bug here. This turret, it is supposed to sit on top of the turret, but it doesn't rotate along with it. So that's something that needs to be addressed, but I mistook that for an actual damaging hit to the turret. And I thought, well, that thing could have had a very interesting experience, aka the hood experience. Just imagine seeing this thing come at you. And then you can't see it because it just fired. Oh, I love this. You can do such crazy shit with this game. Identification, a mere 40%. But this one's closer, so 45%. 37, 35, 43, and 34. Okay, Kaiser that way. That's a lot of shells. I do hope we have enough. Because we carry a little over 1,000 shells between the side-mounted turrets and the bow-mounted turrets, or the center lines. But I'm not sure if it's sufficient. Gentlemen, we probably need to speed up, because these battle cruisers seem to be fast. So it's unfortunate the König Albert's not in a good position yet, let alone the Oldenburg. I'm going to detach the Oldenburg. That way, buddy. Turning circle. Half a moon. 907 meters. Gentlemen, full ahead flank. 27 knots is what we can do in formation. I'll take it. We're now starting to inflict some damage here. 226. That is a bow belt extended. And this guy is getting pretty close. I mean, at 16 kilometers, he's not too far away. Meaning that he is getting increasingly easy to hit. But maybe not increasingly easy to pen at this angle. Identification 94, 95, 98, 99. Sold. Santa Rosalia. Okay. The enemy BC, I'm gonna write this down. Enemy battle cruiser is only 47.8 million. It's not great. Because it means that there is, quickly rounded up, there's about 200, no, there's 300 million up for grabs. Which I'm going to have to divide at least by 520 million. And that's if I keep all of my ships intact. That's going to be tricky to get a high score this week. Because my ships are just too expensive. I'm sure they'll survive, they'll live, but they just won't do a lot of points. Wait, bow deck extended. Oh, deck, okay. I was wondering how they were doing damage, but it went right through the deck, not the belt armor. I'm too far away to make use of the belt armor. 30.5 knots. In 1923? These boys have a lot of engine power. Santa Rosalia seems to be flooding badly. Do you have an auxiliary engine? You do! And you have anti-flood 3. Don't think you're gonna come back from that though. Because all of my French battleships are doing a lot of flooding damage to you. No prisoners were taken. If you want to see more piracy, by the way, then stay tuned for Thursday. Because Thursday I have another game. Ultimate Admiral, Age of Sail. I'm starting with that one. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a lot of videos on it. I just wanted to get at least one video out to make you guys aware of the game. So that's coming on Thursday. Now the battle cruiser Diana, Proserpina, Fidela, Peralta de España, and leading Juno. How far away is that thing? 17 clicks. Okay, starboard turn. At this point, the whole let's have these guys line up in a formation abreast, it's not quite going to work. Because we need to be turning starboard more and more and more. So I'm just going to go with 5 single formations. 5 single ships. At best speed. They're all set to 30 knots. They should be able to acquire that speed pretty quick. And in the meanwhile, they're ripping the Diana to shreds. Okay, that sounds not so good. I do like this forward firing setup. It looks ridiculous. But that's the whole point. I mean, why not? When the ships look like they're almost loaded, they always look like, a bit like a derp. It's the ship's turret's derp face, I guess. Ooh, nice accurate shells there. Diana flooding badly. 2 engines knocked out. Making sure that pumping is not going to go as quickly as she might like. Destroyed main gun. You're lucky you didn't lose that gun. And the rest of the ship with it. Barbette 3, Crip 4. What are you firing with? Cordite. Oh, it's not as volatile as my ammunition. What? You spotted the Oldenburg? What do you mean? Oh, yeah, the Oldenburg is the trailing ship. So it's not surprising that they took this long to actually find it. I want you to target the Juno, because we might not have another opportunity. She keeps running like that. Friedrich, that one. You take that one. You take the Proserpina. So we've taken down 2 of the battle cruisers. Destroyed another main gun? Wow. Are your main guns not properly armored? How did that damage? Main gun destroyed. Main gun penetration. So that flew right through the turret? 8.8 inches. Or turret top. And that was the Konig Albert. Which is 14 kilometers out. At about 14 kilometers I can do somewhere between 19.5 and 21 inches of pen. I'm gonna say 20 inches, give or take. Yeah, that went right through the turret. Impressive. Flooding on the Proserpina. I started learning Spanish, by the way. When I'm feeding Quinn, Quinn's not my dog, Quinn's my baby, for those of you unfamiliar. I'm usually on my tablet, because he's just getting bottle fed at this point. And I'm using an app called Mondly to try and learn some new languages. Started with Italian a week ago, added Spanish yesterday. So I'm trying to pick up some new languages. I think language learning is a sort of... It's going to sound a bit out there, but a way to unlock the world. Because it's a way that you get access to more stuff. You get to sort of access more people, because you get to communicate in their language. You get to understand more of said language. And I think that with understanding a language, you also get more understanding about a culture. Because language is a way that people think. And the way that people think, that is a great way to figure out how they... Well, not so much how they work. I mean, it's not like you're going to disassemble them and figure out what their parts are. Although people have done that over the years. But that, that turned dark real quick. No, I'm practicing Spanish with that. Mondly, nice app. I'll probably add an affiliate link down below. In case you want to pick that up and support the channel at the same time. Learn some languages. By the way, that would be actually interesting. If we could have, for those interested, a monthly high score to see who can get the most points. Like a mini competition. Because of course, a language learning app like that rewards you by giving you points. I think every lesson you complete... Jesus, another main gun destroyed? Okay. When you complete a lesson, you gain somewhere between 13 and 30 points. And if there is something like a private competition, I would love to take some of you guys on. That, I think, would be very fun. Because it, for me, it really helps. Having a competitive element. Ooh, there we go. Flash fire. Goodbye, turret. So, that means that there's only 2 of you left. It's particularly bad news for you. Because my fleet of overpriced privateers is going to have a field day targeting these battle cruisers. Especially at a range of a mere 13 kilometers. Maybe I should have gone with a few battleships instead of 5. So 2 or 3 might have been a better choice. Because right now it's a bit much. My score is going to be pretty bad. But at least I didn't lose any ships. Which is nice. Come on, where are you going? I need you to cut them off. Target the Fidela. Because you're the closest ship and she's running away. Fidela. Kaiser, that's one that's going to be yours. Turn to starboard. Turn to port. Parallax is getting rained on at this point. Look at that. The poor thing already lost a turret. Not a lot that they can do. And, well, positioning yourself broadside to a couple of battleships like this, probably not your best bet. Although, actually, the pen's not that good. Only 52. Pen in reverse, 6%. Yeah, they cannot do much. 15%. 14%. And that's 5%. Because now they're targeting the bow. That super turtled bow on these things, which is 13 inches bow belt extended armor. So yeah, it should be over pretty quick. Fidela and Perla. Anyway, I suppose I can start working on my score. I sunk 6 times 47.8 million. Let's draw up the calculator. I need to know exactly how much that is. Because of course that will impact the amount of points that I get. So 6 times 47.8 equals 286.8 million. Very good. That means that the final formula is a total cost of enemies sunk total cost of enemies sunk minus the total cost of my own ship sunk, which is none. So that is 286.8 million minus nothing, divided by the total cost of my ships, which means 286.8 divided by 520 million is a score of 0.5515. So, building the ships was more expensive than raiding the target. That's generally not a good way to enterprise as a pirate. Still, mission complete. I just hope that the other guys did, well, I hope that they did better, and I hope that they did worse. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the build. It was a crazy design, as usual. I try to make these things entertaining, and I hope you were. So thank you for watching. See you soon for another video.